this is example. Should I follow my parents' rule if it is too hard? For instance, only getting A's on tests. So just sharing your disagreement may not be enough to persuade your parents. So this is a good example of the disagreement. You do not feel that rule is reasonable. Your parents feel like that is a must. Why? Because your parents may not know how children succeed is not, I mean, GPA is important, but not the only way, and certainly not the predictor for future success. Your parents want you to get A's because they feel like once you get A's, you can get into a good college, and a good college guarantee a good education guarantee a good job. And that's how we get here. That's how we got here. I'm the same way. I got 97th percentile on GRE, and I'm a top A student in my college and a grad school. And that's the only way I can get a scholarship in America, got my PhD, and then find a good job. So that's the only way your parents know too. But unfortunately, this is America. We actually did not, our generation did not grow up here. So we do not know. In America, they did research, and the predictors for future success and happiness is great self-control, zest, social intelligence, gratitude, optimism, curiosity. So those characters. So that's why I want you to understand that your parents need to understand other factors other than, so in China, pretty much to get into good college is, there's just a single way, a bridge, which is good grades. Not here. So many of your parents need to learn that the rules at home shouldn't be on grades, should be on other things like your manner. For example, the rules in my house are like honest, this kind of things. You cannot lie unless it's pertaining to some danger. So rules for me, it's just my personal opinion, and also based on the research, should be on character, should be on things like self-control, clean after yourself, good study habits or life habits. So it shouldn't be on grade. The grades should also, I mean, we need to have some kind of expectations. It's also up to different people. Like I have two boys who are very different cognitively. One can get A's much easier than the others. So they have different, I have different expectations. So that has to be reasonable. So I cannot, I have one son who loves math, one who doesn't, like me. Yeah, I'm not good at math at all. So, which is okay. We're going to talk about that down the road. To have a positive self, we need to know ourselves. We need to know our strength and weakness. So let your parents know, maybe they can read that book and to learn what's most important, what should be under the family rule, what's not. I would focus on characters for family rules, focus on habits, such as you have to go to bed at 10:30, this kind of habits instead of grades. What if parents have rules that I think are unreasonable? For example, they expect me to be studying all the time. This is the left picture is by Challenge Success of Stanford. They recommend every kid has PDF time, P, playtime, D, downtime, F, family time. So share with your parents that to help children develop healthily and safely, they need to balance their learning. And studying shouldn't be expected at all time. Like we, after a day of work, we also go home and cook and do chores and do other things. So nobody can study all the time. So share with them. Again, respectively. So respectfully, not accusingly, not, so see, Challenge Success from Stanford showed us that we need PDF time. No, just share with them. Mom and dad, this is what Dr. Pope from Stanford presented to most parents in their seminars. Maybe we can consider to have family time and downtime. Watch a movie together. Now you have lots of time at home, and maybe watch a documentary or go online. There's so many online resources. Do something fun together. This is from a high schooler. What do you think about parents disciplining or punishing their kids for something that wasn't established as a rule beforehand? For example, they let you go out with your friends and later punish you for going past your curfew when there was no curfew established beforehand, or it changes based on the days. Very good question. So the way to prevent conflicts is prevention. Prevention means that you set up clear rules and expectations ahead of time before problems happen. So for those of you who already drive after age 16, it's important to have you to sign a contract. So it's listed there, driving contract. So just to say that Sunday to Thursday, this is the curfew, and then Friday to Saturday, this is maybe a little bit later curfew. So once you sign it, make it clear, it's on the paper, you sign, your parents sign, there's no confusion. So this kind of, this is just example. So any kind of problems that may happen, or you can anticipate that may happen, it's much better if you have rules ahead of time that both sides agree mutually. So that's the best way to prevent conflicts. You're right. They need to establish the rules ahead of time instead of punishing you without it. That's unfair. So if that happened once, let them know, well, that raised awareness. We need to maybe add this to our rules to keep us safe. Okay. This is a question by a parent from last session. What if the kid does not respond to nonviolent communication and only respond when parents lose temper and shout? Very good question. That means everybody's already in the habit of, oh, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to listen until my parents start yelling. I know that they're serious. Now I'm going to listen. So many parents told me the same thing. And some even told me that, oh, my son never listens until I raise the stick. I'm trying to go physical, and then they listen. So that means that the discipline is already went to the violent side. I highly recommend the book Positive Discipline. So they really emphasize connection before correction. Connection before correction. You have to feel connected and see the children's needs, and then share or present your concerns or your constructive criticism. So we all love our kids. Whenever we try to correct them, that means that we see something that's potentially dangerous or negative to their development. But the way we present it often trigger more negative feelings. And under negative feelings, there's no way that they can listen to us. That I can assure you. So in order for them to listen better, we need to identify, again, follow these 4 rules. Try it. Maybe you don't think it's going to work because you never used it. Try it. The way that we can help them to develop better social intelligence is that we control our emotions first. Emotional intelligence is very important for children's development. And the number one thing is that emotional intelligence, the first school is at home. How we handle our emotions, how we resolve our conflicts, how we manage our anger. Children are observing, and they observe and they repeat, and it internalizes into their way to deal with conflicts in their world. So we need to demonstrate that, instead of accusing, I can just state the facts. Instead of lashing out, I can tell them how I feel. I feel very hurt when I told you 2 times gently that this is the time to turn off the screen and go out for outdoor activities so that you can relax your eyes and relax your mind. So share, and they will see, this is the way we verbalize, we share our feelings instead of shouting at someone. And then share with them, my priority is take care of you physically and mentally. Your physical health is very important to me. When we're under shelter in place, you need to have at least an hour of outdoor time just so that you can stay healthy. And then share with them exactly what we want them to do. Please go outside from this time to this time, and then we'll come back and we're going to cook together. So very clear requests. And if there was already a pattern of this kind of communication, shouting and then listen, and then sit down with them and share with them, this is, I don't want to shout. I apologize for losing my temper so easily in the past. I want to change this because I only have maybe 6 more years with you before you go to college at 18. Shouting is not good for my health and damaging our relationship. I want us to feel the love that we have for each other, and then we're gonna try this. So the key is you have the rules ahead of time, and you know exactly what you get. Like you finish all your homework, for example, and then you get half an hour or 40 minutes of screen time. And I won't interrupt you during your screen time, but you also cannot be distracted during your study time. So we have a clear rule, and then when problem arise, we can go back to our rules to say, what did we agree upon? So if you cannot focus or finish your assignment first, we have to take away the screen time, like maybe tomorrow. So there's a natural and logical consequence without shouting. It can be resolved, trust me. If there are any other specific examples that you want to share with me, we can discuss that during Q&A. So basically, resolve our conflicts. I feel like in our home setting, the same thing as with others. We state the facts, we stick with the facts without being judgmental, without saying things like, okay, you are always so dishonest. So this kind of things. We do not use the judgmental statements. And then we share with them the impact on our feelings. We specify what we want, and we also talk about the possible consequences. For today's assignment, I always do this for parents, but now I'm going to reverse it. I want you to recognize 3 things on your parents that you truly admire or are grateful for each day. I want you to express your admiration or gratitude to them sincerely. Observe the impact on their mood and your relationship with them. If you want to do this homework with your sibling, that's fine too. So because we're spending so much time with our family this week, I think you're going to find plenty of things that we can recognize to be grateful for each other. Thank you so much for your attention to this lesson. And for those who are watching in front of YouTube, I'm going to turn off now and say goodbye and see you tomorrow. I'm going to proceed to the Q&A for those who are on this webinar right now. Thank you so much for your interest in this class. I'll see you next class. We're going to start the unit of engagement.